If you're like me, you like very bold but very pretty reminders in your face every day so you don't forget things that are important to you and things you need when you leave the house, like your sunglasses, your keys, things like this. If so, this project might be perfect for you, so let's jump right in. The most important element of this is the wood board and the shelf which I had cut for me at Home Depot. The rest is just a couple dry erase surfaces, covered corkboard, and some post-its, and a bracelet has a custom sunglasses rack. There's a more accurate supply list and detailed instructions on my blog linked in the description box. So if you're not going to paint the wood first, go ahead and arrange all your items in the way you plan to mount them. Mark where you're going to place everything and remove your items. Use a T-square ruler and any 90-degree corner to check and correct where you mark, making sure your guides will not result in a crooked placement later. Estimating the final weight of your wall organizer, use the proper picture hanger and nail or screw this into the back of your board. It's better to do this now so you don't end up hammering into the back of your piece after things are mounted onto the front. To install the shelf, you can hammer in a few very long nails from the back of the board into the shelf while holding the pieces straight and flush to each other. I recommend having a friend to help you do this part. If you have access to a drill and want to use screws instead, make sure to use a flathead wood screws and to drill pilot holes longer than the screws so you don't get stuck like mine did. Stick around if you're curious how I made this custom covered corkboard and the sunglasses rack bracelet. But if you already have the look in mind you want for your wall organizer, go ahead and skip ahead. For the bracelet strip, I cut a thin piece of leather with an X-Acto knife, using a ruler to get a straight edge and protect my fingers. I punched 2 holes in the ends with a leather punch, but this can be as simple as making a cross mark hole with the X-Acto knife again. Then I cut 3 pieces of the stretchy silver string, longer than the strip of the leather, and knotted them together in the middle. I taped it down on one side of the knot and braided the 3 strings on the other side. I then placed the ends of that braid into one of the leather holes and knotted it from the back to secure it in place. Repeat this with the other side of the knot and you have your sunglasses rack, or a cute little bracelet. I cut this corkboard down ahead of time to the size I wanted with a box cutter. Here I use a glue gun to attach these cool fabric scraps that sort of have this metallic-y sheen when it's all wrinkled like this. But you can really use any fabric to do this, like a cool tie-dye scrap or a solid color piece of fabric. I went ahead and finished mine with this pink acrylic vinyl sheet and fastened it taut over the cork piece with flat thumbtacks. If you happen to use vinyl as a covering for your corkboard, just know that any holes you make in it from the tacks and pins will always show. So you'll always have like this little constellation history of where you hung your items. Alright, when you have all your items ready, you'll want to start mounting. I started with things that needed to be hammered, like my sunglasses rack and some nails to hang post-its, so that the banging wouldn't break my fragile mirror. I hung my mirror and corkboard with these long thick command strips. They're really sticky, so you only get one chance to place it right. The next part is a little hard, but super optional. I basically wanted 2 distinct areas to write on with a dry erase marker, but because this iridescent plexi sheet is only iridescent when on a slant, I used 2 glass tabletop bumpers to prop up the right side of the sheet on an angle. From there, I just dotted 4 thick clear dots with my hot glue gun and held it in place while it dried. If you were to do this with a more solid colored acrylic sheet, I'd recommend just gluing it flat instead of on a slant like I did. Either way, when you're doing this, be careful not to scratch on the surface of the plexi sheet or leave any stringy glue trails. At this point, go ahead and hang some glasses, pen some things, write some notes to self, and hang on the wall. And you're done.